welcome to another exciting episode of Tea with Tutu. My name is Tutu Adeyede, and I have a very special person in the studio with me today. By the name Kalumi. You're welcome, Kalumi. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thank you so much. And when you hear the word vulnerability, when someone says, "Oh, this person is so vulnerable," what's the first thing that comes to your mind? The first thing that comes to everybody's mind is being weak, right? Mm-hmm. So, to you, what does vulnerability mean?
Okay, for me, vulnerability is, in a way, openness when it comes to emotions. That you express your emotions in a way that people can see. So, when you're vulnerable, it means that another person can see you in a way that that your emotions have been expressed in a way that, of course, other people can see that, oh, this person is expressing his emotions. And then, your emotions can be like, okay, you're sad, and people know that you're sad. So if you don't want to be vulnerable, you're sad, and then you're putting up a facade that, oh, nothing's going on with me. Yeah. So when you're vulnerable, when it comes to, when you see somebody's vulnerable to me, means this person can be gotten. Like you can get through to this.
Okay. So it necessarily does not mean being weak.
No, actually, for me, I believe that it takes strength to be vulnerable. It takes, I believe, it's one of the top leadership skills to be vulnerable.
It takes you opening up your emotions. It takes you being strong.
Exactly.
To make people see you. Oh, this person is like this, like that.
Exactly, because practically, Bible says John 11:5, Jesus wept.
Okay.
And where did Jesus weep? It was on the journey to Lazarus' place, and then Bible says he got to Lazarus' place, and Bible says Jesus wept. Now, the idea of Jesus a disciple is they are going through the process of Jesus, the Son of God. Mm-hmm. And then imagine the Son of God come down to the earth and come and weep.
The whole Jesus
is weeping. And then how did that play out? It means that this man can resonate with the human feelings. So Jesus came to the point whereby Jesus was hungry. Jesus cried. So I believe it's in playing out vulnerability to express those set of feelings.
So how do we get vulnerable? Is it something you learn? Is it an inborn quality?
No, I don't think it's inborn, because in normal human beings want to play up a facade.
Like, oh, I'm this strong person.
And oftentimes you don't get to see people who just want to be vulnerable with you. Now, because the idea is when you get vulnerable, in a lot scenarios, when you get vulnerable, people take advantage of your vulnerability. So people just feel like they understand you, and then in this sector, in this time, in this situation, this person will be like this. So in a way, they can tell what your next action is in your place of vulnerability. So in a way, people can say, "Oh, I've gotten this person," and then already I know who this person is. So people can want to tell what your next action is if you're being vulnerable most of the time. So eventually, it boils down to vulnerability is not in a way inborn. Nobody wants to be gotten. Nobody wants them to be able to predict their next action. So in a way, so when you're being vulnerable, especially when you're relating with people, it's okay when people can tell, I believe this is what this person can do. This is what this person will do. Now, if I relate with you for a long while, if you're being vulnerable with me, what it creates is trust. I trust you because I feel like you've opened up yourself to me. In the home setting, when the father is in the house and then the mother, the children, there's a way that the children relate with the father if he's vulnerable. In a way, when I mean vulnerable, is when my father comes down and then something happens in the house and he cries. Let's say maybe somebody passes on and then the father cries. There's a way that as a child, there's a way that you feel towards your father, seeing him drop some tears, and you're like, my dad is crying. My dad is crying. Now, in the home setting, there's a way that the mother cries, and then the guy is looking like, the mother is looking like, she'll be fine. But when your father is crying, there's really like, my father is crying. Now, the subject, add guy. In the place of relationship, sometimes it does more harm to a relationship than good. Playing the ad guy in a relationship, sometimes it does more harm, because it means that you're not just open. It means that when situation comes, nobody can actually tell how you exactly feel. Why? Because you're just bringing up one emotion that looks like everything will be fine, all is well, exactly. And then you're like, something happens, you're like, we could do alright. Actually, you're not alright. Who knows?
You're just forming.
You're just forming, you'll be alright. So I believe that in a way we just need to strike the balance of when to be vulnerable in a relationship and when to play maybe the hard guy.
Okay. And by relationship, we are not only talking about romantic relationship. We're talking about friendship, relationship with your colleagues at work, and the like. So, any final words on this?
Okay. This is 2021. And assertively, everybody is supposed to be a leader in any way they find themselves. So to build a base of people, you need to just express some sect of openness, some trait of openness, whereby people can tell how exactly is your feeling expression to a particular subject or matter. It helps to build trust, even in the place of work. Even in place of work, even in your business, even in church, even anywhere you find yourself. It helps to build trust.
So thank you so much, Pelumi. And as we've heard today, that being vulnerable is not necessarily a bad thing. It's one trait that humans ought to have, because it will help in dealing with our relationship with people, dealing with how we flow with people. So we'll stop here for today until we Tutu. If you've not yet subscribed, please do like, share, and comment on this video. Until we see you next episode. I love you. Bye.